Rosalind. About to get some puzzle troubling. All right.
All right. What was that? What?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 113th episode of the Poorly Planned Podcast. My name is Benedict. You may know me better as BHL Hudson. Here we talk about movies, TV shows, a bunch of nonsense, puzzling occasionally.
We do occasionally talk about puzzling, don't we?
Is my friend, co-host, and one could say still stuck in prison buddy, Frederick. Epic gag.
A brilliant line.
So good I had to repeat it on recording.
It never gets not funny.
No, yeah, so... By the way, also, I know you're confused because you're thinking the last one we did was 113, but once again, we're doing a time travel
I was about
scenario.
to say, but I was like...
I know. I make it more confusing than it has to be, but these up-to-date ones should probably go out the week that they come up. So anyway, not that matters at all. Welcome back.
I gotta say, I love, whenever I listen to the pod, it's welcome to 113.
So yeah, well... Here we are in a unique scenario where, by the way, for the record, Freddy's not literally in prison. He is still in his college dorm, though, which some, like Freddy, could consider a palace if you are king of dirt.
But
sorry, it's kind of mean.
But a high-end man such as myself.
No, so I came back from university this week because my stuff wrapped up, and also we were trying not to get locked out of the country in case things lock down again. So I finished up all my stuff, all my tests, all my essays and such, and I got back to Denmark. I'm back in my room, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm feeling good. I have to just put it out there.
And I'm feeling fine.
I'm feeling excelente, as they say, as the Italians are known to say.
As the Italians famously say.
No,
no, I am very excited to come home to Denmark as well. Not because I don't like it here.
No, yeah.
That is another reason.
Although it is prison.
Although I am in prison. This is my dune. But I don't know. It's just Christmas times in Denmark.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, look,
season, eh?
It's snowing outside. I'm back with the family. I'm chilling in my room. I got no more work to do. I'm just having a chill time. Just got a haircut, feeling fresh. And I'm just like, it was funny because...
The freshest fade I've ever seen.
Like, again, university, a wonderful time. But I didn't realize until I came back how, like, high alert I've kind of... how on my own guard I've been the entire time.
I've been watching my back every second.
But it's like, because I didn't realize, like, you're always kind of thinking about something, like whether you're meeting up with people or you got to go to class or you got to, think of what food you're going to eat tonight or, like, all that kind of stuff. You're kind of always thinking. And so when I got back and I just sort of, like, had a moment of...
You just kind of
silence.
de-stressed.
I was like, and I'm just chilling. I'm eating meals that I haven't had to cook for myself. I'm just...
I know.
I'm having
that is one of the
time.
things I look forward to the most. It's just home-cooked meals that I don't have to cook. It's going to be...
So yeah, and it's Christmas time, so good stuff. And we got some special Christmassy pods coming up. I'll give a little preview here. Next week, we're going to have most anticipated of 2022. Then the week after that, we're going to have a special little Christmas episode. Not really sure what we're going to do yet, but we're going to try to make it Christmassy.
Christmas quizzes?
God, that would be such an anticlimactic Christmas episode. We might have to do it. And then...
we might just have to.
And then maybe a little...
Would that be, do I dare say, an in-person pod? The Christmas episode?
I think everything after pod 114 should hopefully be in person. Ooh. And then after that, Rosalind, we're going to have the classic best and worst of the year pod, which Cian geniusly suggested we call the Poorly Planned Podskers. So, that's, so actually...
The Poorly Planned Podskers.
Podskers, I think you mean to say. So anyway,
okay.
That's going to be great.
Okay.
Today...
That makes it a lot better.
We just have a classic little... mini reviews news episode. I thought we'd squeeze one more in before the end of the year because also we have
amazing
some things that we both can talk about. I think, well, at least one I know we both can talk about. I don't know if you've seen Red Notice, but we definitely need to talk. We didn't talk about Red Notice already, did we?
I don't think so.
But anyway, yeah, we're going to talk Red Notice. We're going to talk Ghostbusters. We're going to talk Hawkeye.
Oh, goodness.
We're going to talk
Hawkeye.
and then some news. We're going to talk Paul Rudd being the sexiest man. We're going to talk about Dwayne news.
Yes.
Jurassic World news, Spider-Verse news.
Two complete opposites. Paul Rudd being the sexiest man, and then Dwayne.
Mackie news, all kinds of news, and of course Tom Cnews. So,
it's going to be a good one.
it's going to be dare I say, a banger.
Dare I say, Dune!
I would never dare to say that. So, starting off with some mini reviews, we're gonna kick off with Red Notice. Have you seen Red Notice?
I saw the first 5 minutes of it.
The best part of the film, I assume. I have no memory of what happens in the first 5 minutes.
It's just Reynolds being a Reynolds,
Being a
getting
nutty
chased
man.
by Dwayne,
Yeah.
and that's about it.
Do you intend to watch the rest of it?
I don't know. I've heard it's the most watched movie of all time on Netflix. No,
That's a
but,
shame.
Yeah, it did not grip me. I'll say, it did not hook me in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's the thing is, on paper, and I think we mentioned this when talking about the trailer. This is the ultimate pod movie. Like, it's Reynolds, Dwayne team up in like a nutty spy heist action movie. Like, what could go wrong? And the answer is everything. It seems.
The answer is the movie itself is the problem.
No, it's pretty fun. I think if you watch the rest of it, I think you'll enjoy. It's exactly what you'd expect, just not as good.
Nutty.
Yeah, like it has nutty moments. There's one moment that's probably the funniest part of the film where Ryan Reynolds points out that the back of Dwayne's head looks like a penis, and then it cuts to a shot of the back of his head, and it really does, and that's the best moment of the film. But the thing is, I was hoping the whole film would be moments like that, but a lot of it feels very
it's not really.
It feels weirdly scripted. Unlike all movies that are improv'd 100%.
I love improv movies only.
No, but like when you have guys like Reynolds and Dwayne who are so naturally funny, I feel like they diminished a lot of their chemistry.
Are they caged a little bit?
I do feel so. Yeah, it felt some of the time it felt like it could have just been any two actor. It could have been Vince Vaughn and Charlie Hunnam, and it wouldn't have made a difference. You know what I mean? That's a movie I would watch.
That is Charlie Hunnam and Vince Vaughn. I would probably watch that more, honestly.
Yeah, it's just kind of a very generic action movie with some fun moments, but for the potential it could have had, I would say a bit of a disappointment.
Bit of a downer.
Yeah, but moving on to a film we mentioned briefly when you'd seen it, but now we've both seen it, so we can now talk. Did we didn't talk about this already? No.
Morbius.
We've somehow gotten an advanced screening of the film Morbius, and it's 8 hours long. Last Night in Soho, we've now both seen.
Ooh.
And I was thinking we could have a little spoiler talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Spoilers for Last Night in Soho. So what did you...
So this was your most anticipated movie?
It was. And it might be my favorite movie I've seen this year so far, honestly.
It is quite good, is it not?
Which, yeah, it's not... And that's also a credit to not a ton of incredible movies have come out.
It's also a credit to Red Notice, which Dwayne's penis head.
God, that's the follow-up to the Ballers butt scene. The Dwayne penis head. Basically, for all the reasons that you mentioned when we talked about it kind of in a non-spoilery way, like it's a very, very gripping movie, I'll say. It wouldn't let go of me for the entire duration.
I sat there and I could not move.
But it is actually, it's funny because I was planning on watching just half of it because I had to get to class. And so I was like, I'll just watch half of it. And then I was so engrossed in the film that I actually, time got away from me. I was like, I'm going to be late. And so I had to run to class. Anyway. And so my athletic skills had to be brought into play.
So I had to go full turbo mode.
So I had to beast mode my way out of there, which, I don't like to do very often.
Hate when you have to pause a movie just to beast mode.
But yeah, it was really captivating, and like the twist throughout. It also,
did you see the twist coming?
After, and this probably doesn't say much because that's sort of right before the twist happens. But as soon as it was revealed that Terrence Stamp wasn't an old version of Matt Smith, but was rather the cop,
the good guy,
then I put it together because just by process of elimination, I was like, okay, well then. it was like, if he's not been around, like we haven't seen another old man character, then he's probably dead, which means the Anya Taylor-Joy character probably killed him, which means the old lady's probably Anya Taylor-Joy because they've set that up. So like I kind of knew from the start that the old lady was going to play some part, because I was like, there's no way she's here.
I knew she was going to have some twist.
Yeah,
some twist.
Like she knows what's happened, or I didn't immediately call it she was going to be Anya Taylor-Joy, but like, yeah, at a certain point. But I don't know, it's still, even when it became a little more like predictable what would happen, which it wasn't the whole time, it still was a quite like
just good and fun movie. Yeah,
and it was still intriguing, like an intriguing twist with like a bit of depth to it, which was interesting. That like it wasn't just like one side is, I mean, one side is definitely very bad as well, like the guys, but like it wasn't like she's also then like a murderer.
I sympathize with the men in this movie.
The way I was about to say that was about to sound really bad, so I was like, wait a minute.
I love the how you can choose both sides in this movie.
I love how you can really
I watched it
sympathize.
twice, and I see, and I really sympathize with Matt Smith. That man has it hard.
Yeah, you can really empathize with just one side of the film, actually, not the other.
No. I'm with the boys on this one.
God, we are kidding. That's totally going to get taken out of context. But yeah, no, I thought it was interesting that then she's also like, you know, she's also a murderer, and it's sort of, it's put a bit like, I don't know, yeah, put more of a twist on a twist already, you know.
But here's the age-old question: would you rather be a murderer of like dozens of men, or be Matt Smith?
That is a question that's asked at every would you rather party drinking game that I've ever been
to. That is a theological question.
I don't really, I guess I don't know how to answer that. I don't want to be Matt Smith. So
I mean, process of elimination.
but yeah, I thought it was I don't know, it was also such a, you know, as you'd expect from Edgar Wright, but such a stylish film. Like I love the use of, it's not, you know, it doesn't take a genius film reviewer as myself to figure this out, but like the use of the lights, where whenever it's like just red, it's when she's fallen into like the dream world, or like, you know, she's seeing the thing, because otherwise the lights are different colors, and just the use of color in general was fantastic, and the mirrors and all that stuff. Yeah.
No, it's very, very, it was also quite scary at times.
Yeah, quite. There were a few jump scares. The one that really got me
I did poo my pants thrice.
And you saw this movie with a lady, so that's an unfortunate.
Yeah, that's yeah. I mean,
that's a great conversation starter. After the film, just like, so what'd you think? You're like, I shit myself thrice, actually.
Did you find that scary? I have pooed myself into oblivion.
The humor's devolved very quickly, but yeah, the one that
it was very intelligent.
Yeah, the one that really got me was when, like, it's the classic fake out, but when she wakes up, but she's still sleeping, and so she thinks she's awake, and
she still sees Matt Smith.
And then the guy's there, and he like puts down the alarm clock, puts his hand on the alarm clock, whatever. That got me good, and yeah, I mean, it's not. Yeah, I guess it gets less scary throughout, and more just like like the scary elements of like the kind of, you know, ghostly figures of all those horrible men is like, it's more just kind of a plot point than actually scary at a certain point. Because once you kind of have seen it once, it's not really. It doesn't catch you off guard as much.
I kind of grew into it. Wasn't scared at all.
But yeah, and I really like the character. Like, I think, yeah, like the main character was very interesting, and like her
very
growth,
good.
and I liked her friend and or romantic guy, John or James.
I also felt very, very bad for him.
Yeah, he sure got the short end of the stick for most of the film, didn't he? He's just trying to be the nicest dude.
He's the nicest dude, then gets screamed at and chased away, then gets shanked.
He gets absolutely stabbed, shivved, but he gets a happy ending at the end. I guess they're all. What did you think of the ending, by the way? How did you interpret it? Because I've seen a few different takes when she sees Anya Taylor-Joy in like the mirror.
I don't know,
because
I didn't really know. I thought it might just be like closure to it, whereas, you know, everything's done. But like after having the dreams and stuff like that, yeah, and she's kind of like Anya Taylor-Joy's like, goodbye, I'm at peace, or it's something more sinister, and that Matt Smith lives.
What a horrifying image. But yeah, the thing is, I think because I'm a sucker for a happy ending, so I think I interpret it kind of in the more happy way of like, she's still kind of, because there was a part of that journey that she had with the Anya Taylor-Joy thing that like made her more confident and feel better about herself. And so I kind of took it to mean like, you know, she still carries a bit of that with her, like a bit of that inspiration and like confidence, and just not the murdering part. But, you know, that's kind of a selective view of the ending. So I don't know.
I reckon the murdering part will also be part of it.
I reckon Matt Smith does live, actually. It was sort of interesting also that it was kind of a fantasy film, because when the old lady, Anya Taylor-Joy, at the end was like, I drugged your coffee or whatever, I was thinking like, oh, they're gonna have an explanation for the reason she's seen all this stuff is because she's been like, the old lady's been drugging her the whole time. But it wasn't that, so it's more like there is kind of a supernatural element that she actually does see like stuff that happened in the past in her dreams, which I liked as well. And I think it was it was also I didn't really know much about it going in, but it had a much more like kind of dark like commentary on, you know, working your way up in like the star business and the show business
everything show,
which was really like quite
kind of scary if I want to be a movie director in Hollywood.
But yeah, it was surprisingly like poignant, like really effective in making it feel like horrible and gross, and it was a very unique film, I would say. Like
definitely.
So yeah,
I think something I did
great.
sit there and think about that I was like, kind of strange. I might just have missed something. Very likely. But
I did
when she gets
thrice.
when she gets drugged and like her coffee gets drugged, and old lady Joy then goes, oh yeah, I'll let you sleep in, or you're gonna die in your sleep, like very much saying the poison will take over. It looks like you die in your sleep, but the poison just kind of wears off after a bit, doesn't it? And she can run around and
I guess like,
I was like, what's going on here, Taylor-Joy?
I guess like the adrenaline kicked in or something, and then the police helped her with it. I don't know. Yeah, I mean that whole finale, while good like story wise, the way it was,
I think it's the weakest part of the movie.
Yeah, and it was also shot in kind of a goofy way when she's like going up the stairs and the old lady's like swinging at her with the scissors.
Yeah, that was kind of.
It looked a little kind of hokey, like a kind of B horror movie a little bit, but
It looked like a bad Jack Nicholson horror movie.
But yeah, overall, and like great costume design and like set design and just a super something you don't see. About to become a pretentious film nerd here, but something you don't see too often these days. A very unique, original film, and I was a big fan.
Something that moviegoers and directors kind of forgets to do these days is to make a good, unique movie, not just sequels.
Yeah, so take that.
Another social commentary.
Yeah. Anyway, now let's dive into my new 3-hour Marvel Cinematic Universe video coming up right after this. Well then, do you have one you want to talk about?
I do have one actually.
All right.
I binged in one day the new season of La Casa de Papel, or Money Heist, or Papierhusel. Very good.
Yeah.
But like I'd probably say one of the weaker seasons or parts of the season. But still very enjoyable. Put everything to a nice close. So it's season 5, I think.
Geez.
Season
I said so much money by
it's
now.
either season 5 or the second part of season 4. One of those two. And it kind of ties everything up quite nicely, but it is also I don't know. It's very good, but I think the show also sometimes forgets, because like the span of 2 seasons has taken place over 5 days technically, and sometimes in the show it seems like they kind of forget that, and everything like kind of evolves as if it's been like months and months they've been in there. So that kind of takes me out of it a little bit, but otherwise generally pretty good, pretty enjoyable.
Fair enough. Fair. Bit of a tense heisting fun situation. I don't really know.
You haven't seen any of it.
So is it like kind of is it more serious, or is it more kind of like a fun?
Oh, it's definitely more serious. It's also quite fun because like Spanish TV is done in a very, not very different, but like you can definitely see that it's like the storytelling and everything, and also like the dramatic aspect of it is very, it's not typically like Hollywood. It's also it's a fun experience.
There we go. Jesus. Well, now I'm gonna have to cancel the entire podcast because of that that notification.
Because of that notification. That's
Oh, fair enough. Well, on the other side of things, on a much less positive note, I'll just quickly mention I saw Ghostbusters Afterlife, and will you believe it or not, with another human being.
No.
Let's
That's
go.
2 human being trips in a row.
I try not to look back at my greatest achievements.
I try not to bathe in the glory.
But yeah, I saw Ghostbusters Afterlife, and man, kind of a stinker.
What a stanker, eh?
But also, I did enjoy it. Like, it's just weirdly slow for a lot of it, and like it's very much a kids movie, which like is fair enough. Like, it's Ghostbusters, but
I wanted proper action and gore from the Ghostbusters 2021 remake.
I do think this is, and it's a shame that this is the moment that caused it, but I think this is the moment I realized I'm now an adult watching films, because as a kid, you always want like the movie to not, to go away from all the like boring adult stuff, and you want it to be more about the whatever flying color monsters or whatever. And this one, every time I was just wishing there was more Paul Rudd time, and that also might just be
I just wish Paul Rudd talked more sometimes.
But he was clearly the best part, but he's in it for like 2 minutes.
Why is he? What's his role?
He's like a local guy who then starts like dating their mom, and then as Paul Rudd
Never
does.
have I heard a more apt term for Paul Rudd. A local guy who dates your mom.
God, wouldn't you want to have Paul Rudd as your stepdad? Don't answer that. That was a weird thing to ask. Anyway,
I'll answer definitely. Or stepmother.
Yeah, or step anything really. I just want Paul Rudd in my immediate vicinity.
I just wanted to step on me.
But it's like it's fine. It's kind of a fun, like, less interesting Stranger Things kind of vibe. It's these kids doing this thing. There's a kid in it called Podcast, which was great because when he showed up, then the person I saw it with turned to me and laughed at me because he was like, because it's clearly meant to be like, you remember at the start of Justice League where the kids are interviewing Superman? They're like, it's for my podcast. It's that kind of meme where it's like a little kid's like, here, I want to interview you for my podcast. I was like, that's not even how it goes. That's not even how we do a podcast. Anyway.
That's not even what a podcast is, you idiots.
And then at the end, spoiler alert, big old spoilers. Do you care if I spoil it?
I might cry myself to sleep. Go on.
I thought you were about to be serious. Like, I might see it, actually. I was like, really? Well, spoilers, you can click ahead if you want. Everyone knows this. At the end, all the other Ghostbusters show up, the old ones, including the one who has died in real life. They recreate him with CGI.
Oh.
As a ghost.
Who's died in real life?
Harold Ramis. Egon. The guy who...
Is that the guy with the glasses?
Yeah. And so he comes back as a ghost, which is kind of sweet at one point, because he's like... The movie's about
the other people. Are the others ghosts as well, or no?
No, because they're still alive.
I don't know.
That'd be kind of disrespectful. All right, Bill Murray, we're gonna recreate you digitally as a ghost, even though you're still very much alive. You're just that old.
You're just
no
that
one
old.
would believe
we cannot get you to walk on set.
You would still be alive today.
You look like a ghost, Boomer.
So just go with it. No, so which is kind of sweet, and like they have like a nice, goodbye, and it's like it says like for Harold Ramis at the end, and it's sweet, but it's also, I don't know, the whole thing of recreating a dead person digitally kind of feels weird to me.
It's a little weird,
especially for this franchise.
Did Harold Ramis die recently?
No, he died like 5 years ago, I think.
Interesting.
But yeah,
so
like,
why was Ghostbusters the female version not for Ramis?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was. I didn't see it, so it could have been. It was kind of fun, I suppose, but the ending is a big CGI whatever, where also Paul Rudd gets possessed by a demon and has sex with the mom, who's also possessed by a demon. Which is just, again,
this sounds like a freaky movie, and I might have to watch it.
Just look up that scene.
Paul Rudd dates your mom and then gets possessed and absolutely freaks it.
Yeah, that's just an expression for how Paul Rudd handles it in the bedroom. Just possessed by a demon.
Possessed by a demon and freaking it.
He just can't control himself.
He's like a motor with unlimited fuel.
But besides that, it's whatever. I don't know. It's kind of whatever. Bleh.
Bleh.
And then there was also... do you have one? Because I got two more, and we'll just very quickly speed round.
I do actually have one. I've watched and finished Arcane.
I did watch the first 10 minutes of the first episode.
Oh?
It was pretty good. Something came up, but I think I will keep watching it.
Something came up. My boredom.
My want to do something interesting with my time.
My want to not do anything that's related to Arcane.
No,
I finished it. Very, very good show.
The hype,
I think
hype is real?
It's really, really good. The hype is real. And if it ends on, not to spoil anything, but it does end on a bit of a cliffhanger. So more is to come.
Might be seeing a season 2. Might be having some more
I think we will
Dragons.
absolutely be seeing it. Absolutely.
Great visual style.
Yeah, it's a very, very unique animated style. So and the music's really good, and like the voice acting is really good as well. Everything works.
Hell
And
yeah.
also like the story, like I know it's League of Legends, which is not exactly the coolest thing to sit there and watch normally, but like the fact that it like I think anyone who doesn't like, I've never played. I'm not a big LOL enthusiast. Like I've never played it, but that didn't take away from it at all for me. So I big recommendation.
So recommended to all, even non-LOL nerds.
Even all non-LOL losers.
Just for the record, we're bigger losers than 8 LOL players if we have a podcast.
And I've downloaded LOL, so I'll probably start playing it.
Well, then, speaking of Netflix things, I did watch The Harder They Fall, which is a new Western starring your boy, what has Idris as the villain, and it has your boy Jonathan Majors as the protagonist. And I will just say, probably top
Jonathan
3...
Majors.
Well, this is not a good reference, but he was...
Jonathan Miners, perhaps?
Charles Minor? Scranton Paper Company? God, what an Idris tie-in. But no, it's Jonathan Majors who... he was Kang in Loki, but I feel like that was not a good representation of his acting abilities, because that was an insufferably annoying character in my opinion. And here he is amazing. He's just the coolest, most charismatic dude. And this movie, probably top 3 of the year for me, honestly. It looked really like... It's probably the worst trailer for the best movie I've seen in a while, because the trailer looked really generic and whatever, and some like cheap Western knockoff, whatever. And it's such a like stylistically like beautiful, like there's such cool shots in it. It's so fun. It's like it plays well with Western tropes, but uses the ones that are like the most fun, and then high-paced action and just a really... Idris is an amazing villain. Has Zazie Beetz of Deadpool 2 fame. She's great.
Okay.
Every character's super likable. There's it has your boy Get Out, man.
It's got some your boy.
Get Out, the guy who yells Get Out. Great actor and other things. Sorry to bother you.
Oh, Lakeith Stanfield?
Lakeith Stanfield, he's a super badass guy who just like, he's the fastest draw in the West. I think you would love it, honestly. It's such a fun movie, so definitely
what
check
did you
that
say
out.
it was called?
The Harder They Fall. It's on Netflix. It's so good.
Okay,
And oh my god,
okay.
I almost forgot. I'm sorry, I gotta spoil this for you. It's not a spoiler, but it's kind of a spoiler. But I have to tell you, because I was already enjoying it, and then 10 minutes in, the worst cameo shows up, which I was so not expecting, and I was like, "Is that, surely it's not?"
Give me a hint. Give me a hint.
Okay, well this will give it away, but I'll just say, suddenly, a person enters, and it's a guy who doesn't like kids, doesn't like teaching. He just likes paychecks.
Surely not.
It was so horrifying, because I just come off watching New Girl, and then I was watching that, and I was like, wait a minute, surely that's not a man who, you sons of bitches are ready to party?
Surely not. It couldn't be Annie.
It's Ernie! Ernie's in it. Oh, this is not the best movie ever. So anyway,
we're talking Lakeith. We're talking Khan. We're talking Idris.
We're talking Ernie.
And we're talking Ernie.
And many more. It's so good. So definitely check that out. And then...
Damn. I will absolutely check
It's very good, yeah. And then, let's see. Oh, yeah, and the last thing, Hawkeye. 3 episodes are out when we're recording this. The 4th one's coming out tomorrow. Have you been watching?
I've seen the first episode.
Okay.
It is incredibly average, I'd say.
I agree. I think the first 2 episodes are pretty meh. The second one especially, it has a very extended nutty Renner sequence, but it also feels like kind of a waste of time in a way, in a show that's...
Is that not any Renner scene though?
But like in a show that's
delightfully
6
nutty,
episodes.
but ultimately bit of a waste of life.
I don't want to spoil it, but I mean, there's an extended part where Renner has to go. It feels a bit like a side quest in a video game where he has to go retrieve an item and he has to do this thing, and it goes on for a long period, and it's funny, but it's like the whole episode just feels like that of like nothing really of that significance happens. The 3rd episode I think is great. It has a very fun action sequence, a little bit of a car chase with some trick arrows. It's more what you'd want from Hawkeye.
Mm-hmm.
I think like Haley Steinfeld and him are great together, and also
I really like Haley Steinfeld in general.
Yeah, she's very charismatic, and not to spoil anything, but there have been heavy hints, and by that I mean basic outright confirmation that we will be getting. We haven't gotten them yet, at least at the time of this recording, but we will be getting D'Onofrio. A cheeky, because they keep talking about this.
A cheeky Fiscaroony.
You keep talking about like, ooh, the boss, who's the boss, and I encountered their boss. You see his hand, and you hear just the most D'Onofrio chuckle. It's like it couldn't be more of a D'Onofrio chuckle, and so I was like, he's here.
I'm kind of scared.
So I'm just saying, if
I saw the D'Onofrio hand and chuckle, and I thought to myself, he's home.
Chewie, he's back.
Chewie. That's D'Onofrio. Harrison bows so low his back breaks.
Oh my god. But yeah, so anyway, that's super exciting. And when he shows up, what a cool moment that's going to be. Apparently he's going to be like comically large.
So nothing will have changed.
No, I know I set you up too much for that. That was too easy. But I mean, they say like he's going to be like comic book, like, okay, probably not the level of the Spider-Verse one. That'd be hilarious.
Is it not going to be the same character that
it
we've
is,
seen
but
in Cox?
They're going to put like more of a fat suit on him, apparently, to make him like enormous.
He's already fairly big.
Don't say that.
I'm sorry.
I mean, he's a big dude, but they're going to make him like comic book big.
The biggest.
This is a bad idea to talk about. Let's just move on. Anyway, that'll be exciting. So far, Hawkeye, pretty okay, I guess. Let's talk about some news.
I hope Marvel realize that, because when I watched the first episode, to me, it kind of felt like if it wasn't Marvel, I would have liked it a lot less. Because I started thinking like, oh, just because I know the character, just because Renner is there, I suddenly have some kind of acceptability of it. But like,
yeah, otherwise it's a pretty.
They need to watch out. Otherwise, it's because I'm coming for you, Marvel. If you keep this shit up, because it's not great so far.
It's a bit. You make a good point. It's a bit generic. Like even Falcon and Winter Soldier. If it wasn't those two characters that I already liked, it would be a pretty like, average show of like, okay, that's pretty. There's some fun action, but it's not. It'd be like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but with a bigger budget. Oh. Characters I don't care about doing things I don't care about. Yeah, no, I get that. I think, it has the fun dynamic going for it, and some fun action, and then, like, the Marvel Easter eggs, and that's the stuff that I've most enjoyed so far.
Yeah.
Anyway, on to the news. First of all, Paul Rudd.
First of all, Paul
Rudd was named the world's sexiest man. Now, I believe maybe a bit of a controversial pick, but I would argue the best pick ever.
I can think of more sexy men.
Yeah, but I think also sexiness is also determined by personality, a sense of humor.
I know.
Number of podcast
I'm not talking
listeners.
purely physical here.
So
very
we're very
true.
ugly.
So we are incredibly horrendous to look at. No, but I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Rudd. He's a beautiful man.
He is.
Beautiful personality. But I don't know. I can definitely think of people above him.
Well, I do think it was a bit of a... Because, I mean, when he went on Stephen Colbert to talk about it, kind of like the immediate joke is like the inherentness of it is like they start kind of laughing about it. It's like, I'm the sexiest man alive, which is like, it's sort of indicative of how interesting of a choice it is.
How ridiculous it is that Paul Rudd could ever win such an award with that mug of his.
I don't know, because you wouldn't... That's the thing. He's a very attractive man, but you don't really think of him when you think of the world's sexiest man, Why are we having a serious discussion about this? I put this in as, like, joke news.
But I'm fired up about this. So who would be better picks?
Chris Evans?
Chris Pine?
Are any of the Chris's?
Christopher Lee? Thusel? Thewis? Sorry.
Thusel. That's his pet name from his wife. Ayo, Thusel. Also, I love that his wife would be saying Ayo, Thusel.
I imagine you'd be very good at writing fan fiction because you just went, "Ayo Thusel." I like that his wife goes, "Ayo Thusel." This is very funny. Just filibustering to yourself.
Anyway, well, it's also kind of funny with the Paul Rudd thing because I saw Ghostbusters the day that came out, and so I had like his character in that is not meant to be like, I don't know, yeah, he's like the kind of weird local dude, which again, like Paul Rudd
Who has sex with your mom?
I don't know, like. I don't know, yeah. A very handsome man. I'm happy with the choice because I feel like Paul Rudd deserves it.
I think Paul Rudd's the kind of the handsome uncle. But
Sure.
he's the kind of uncle, the uncle who's like, not in a three-way, but like there's three brothers.
What are you
And he's
saying?
like the second most.
So he's like, my really handsome uncle who's not in a threesome. I didn't say that. You said that. I didn't say it. What is going on?
Losing my mind. But I'm saying, like, out of the three brothers, he would be like the middle child who's the middle attractive, you know?
I guess so. You would say his older
You
brother
get that-
would be like a Chris Evans, and his younger brother would be like, let's not be mean here.
I'm sure Chris Evans is younger than Paul Rudd, no?
No, but I mean, I thought you were saying like the oldest one is the most attractive, and then the youngest one's the least attractive.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like a Seth Rogen or something. I don't know. No offense, Seth Rogen. Well, no, yeah, Paul Rudd, a delightful dude, so I'm very happy to see him get the Sexiest Man award. Anyway, let's move on. Good guy.
No offense, Seth Rogen.
Then, this is not news, but I just had a revelation that I wanted to put out here. It took me until very recently to realize that Ana de Armas and Daniel Craig starred in both Knives Out and No Time to Die together. And it blew my mind when I realized this, because I was like, how did I not realize this?
Oh, yeah.
Because they play such different kind of characters that it took me
Very
off guard.
strange.
Yeah. Anyway, just want to put that out there. Just revelations with Hudson.
A hot new take from Hudson.
This
Daniel
actual
Craig
fact about casting.
has acted with Anna before.
Then, you'll love to see it. The Rock also ended the Rock Vin feud. Let's just look up what he specifically said. But Vin Diesel put out that thing.
I thought you were going to say, like, love to see it. The Rock has ended world hunger.
Yeah, that would be a little more
on a
important.
Tuesday.
Wait a minute, maybe he hasn't. The Rock doesn't share brotherly love for Diesel. What the f***?
Oh, no.
Oh, my goodness.
It's the reverse of what you thought it was happening.
So, Johnson had a different viewpoint from his former co-star he didn't see the same way at all. The Rock remained unfazed by the statement and his mention of being Diesel's little brother. I have one big brother and it's my half-brother, and that's it. Huh. I'm sorry. I thought I saw a headline that, like, he had said, like, yeah, we're all good. Maybe they're all good. Maybe he just doesn't want to be called little brother. So I don't know. Maybe they're still, I don't know. I hope they're good. Because I want to see Rock in Fast 10.
Yeah, they need him in Fast 10.
Speaking of Dwayne, did you see the trailer for DC League of Super Pets? Did we already talk? I'm going insane. I feel like we've already talked about everything I
I
mentioned.
think we have talked about DC Super
Yeah,
Pets.
we did. Never mind. Dwayne's in that. Whatever. Did you see, let's see, the Jurassic World 3 trailer? It was a little bit of a clip from the movie.
I did not see it, no.
It's a big old T-Rex and it goes into a movie theater, but outside. You know, one of those drive-in movies.
Like one of those drive-in cinemas.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I'm excited to see dinosaurs in the world. Shang-Chi 2 is happening, as is Venom 3. So, cool, I guess.
Venom 3. Interesting.
So Venom 3, I guess, in the MCU, because spoilers, Venom,
Yeah.
at the end of Venom 2, he comes over to the MCU, so a lot of possibilities
that
there.
still is by far the best part of that movie.
Oh, yeah. Wouldn't have been hard to do. That would have been the best part of a pretty good movie, and it's definitely the best part of a terrible movie. And Shang-Chi 2, sure, cool, I'm excited to see more.
Yeah, it was Shang-Chi 1.
Shang-Chi.
Pretty cool.
Did you see the trailer for Spider-Verse 2?
No.
It's a short little teaser. It's just him and Gwen having a bit of a fun time, and then he gets sucked into the dimensions, and it looks awesome. It looks great.
And I hear Nick Miller is back. You said
Nick Miller's back. Oscar Isaac, I believe, is coming into this one as Spider-Man 2099 or something, like the future Spider-Man. You see him in the trailer a little bit, and yeah, and also they've kind of I didn't really notice when I watched this, but I saw a bunch of people mentioning it. They've kind of aged him up a little bit, which is sort of fun to see. He's like aged a bit in the same time span as the movies have come out. So he's more of like a teenager kind of now. I mean, he was a teenager before, but like more closer to our age kind of thing. And it's sort of sort of fun to see. I don't know. It just looks super. Yeah, it has the same animation style and like that same great music, and it just brought up my hype levels very much so. Then we have, let's see, Channing Tatum confirms Magic Mike 3 is happening. You excited for that?
Channing, do we really need this?
No, definitely not. Did you see Magic Mike XXXXXL?
If I were to do a Magic Mike, it would be Magic Mike XXXXXXL.
That's M.
I'm extra medium. I feel like I have seen it, you know.
I think you said you saw it with your mother and sister.
That might be true. I don't remember.
That sounds.
I've kind of avoided the memory.
But I've heard the first one is like actually a good like drama, and it's sort of you know, we can meme it a bit 'cause it's like, it's Channing Tatum and he's doing a stripper thing.
He's stripping.
But apparently it's like a good like dark drama or something. And the second one's probably, I've heard, it's kind of whatever. Matthew McConaughey.
I think the second one
naked.
I think the second one is a bit more. Did you say naked?
Sorry, go ahead.
Matthew McConaughey is nude. I think the second one focuses a lot more on the dancing and not the personal lives.
Yeah. Anyway, so whatever. Who cares? And then, what a harsh way to close out someone's like lifelong journey, like
lifelong passion and goals. Anyways, who the fuck gives a shit about Channing Tatum dancing?
Then again, also, if your lifelong passion and goals were to make the third Magic Mike film,
then you're doing something extremely right.
Exactly. Then there are 3 more Spider-Man movies coming with Tom Holland. Good stuff, I suppose.
I thought Tom Holland came out and said that he was not going to play Spider-Man forever, and that he wanted to like put down the suit soon.
Well, I think that was him. You see this with UFC fighters often as well. I think that was him just kind of trying to jostle for a little more cash, as the Holland does, because you say like, I'm going to retire, and then they have to give you a little more money. So apparently he's coming back for 3 more films, and you know, they're going to probably do like, the Peter Parker, you know, becoming an adult, getting married, all this stuff, which would be kind of, I mean, almost like Harry Potter-esque, like kind of cool seeing him grow up before our very eyes. But
before our very eyes?
Yeah, I mean, he still looks like he could be either 12 or 24, so.
He does. And he is 24 now, or what?
Probably. He's probably like 37. And then we also have some more Holland news. Him and Mackie, the epic feud troll war has continued, which is also what any war Mackie's involved in is called, the troll war.
The epic feud troll war.
So he did a bit of a meme where he was like, you know, his show was called The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, not just The Falcon, you know. So good memes there.
Nice,
good stuff.
Nice.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, he's not wrong. You are only half a show, Mackie. Be humbled.
And then we have 2 final epic pieces of news. One, Charlie Cox has basically officially been confirmed as returning in the MCU as Daredevil.
So good.
Because they said something along the lines of...
in his own show or something...
Well, he said something along the lines of, like Kevin Feige, he was like, if we see Daredevil again in the MCU... or like
Cox!
or like, we are planning on seeing Daredevil again, or something like that. And he was like, and... it'll be Charlie Cox. Like, Charlie Cox is Daredevil in the MCU. And it was like, yes. And we're probably...
That is so good.
We're probably going to see him in No Way Home, I think. And we're probably getting Fisk and Hawkeye. So let's go. The universe is back. They're probably going to do more episodes of the show. I mean, come on. They're doing spin-offs of every other thing. There'd be crazy not to do more Daredevil.
Surely they'll just continue some Daredevil.
And maybe we can see Luke Cage come back. Jessica Jones, the Punisher. Those are the only characters.
Notice how you did not say Iron Fist.
Maybe also, Stick. He's dead, isn't he?
Stick to come back from the dead?
I would honestly much rather
after he got his head chopped off.
Oh, yeah, did he? Oh, I would love to see. I would love to see the only scene of Iron Fist in the MCU just be him fighting Shang-Chi, and Shang-Chi just cuts his head off with his hand immediately. Shang-Chi just punches a literal hole in his chest, and then that's it.
I don't think that Cox will be of much use to anyone in this franchise. If he like comes in with, I'm sorry, but
I think
if he were to join up with like Shang-Chi, Thor, and Spider-Man, what could Cox realistically do?
Yeah, but I think they could put him more into like a Hawkeye, where because they might have Fisk in here as the villain, and he can team up with some of the, maybe even like a Daredevil Ant-Man team up. I don't know why, but I'm kind of feeling that one.
That'd be so weird. I could not see that happening.
I'm kind of feeling that one.
That'd be so strange. I could not imagine like the dark, gritty tones of Daredevil.
Okay, yeah, no, not the tone wise.
With Paul Rudd like, going, shrink time.
Yeah, okay, probably not a great one. But how about a slightly more?
How about Morbius?
Slightly better tone. Well, they probably could do those movies together now because all the universes are crossing over. But anyway, they shouldn't. But like a Falcon and Winter Soldier. Put in a Daredevil in there somewhere, that could probably...
I think you're trying too hard to get Daredevil involved with the big boys. Just let him do his own thing. Let him talk to... What's that really lame drug and gun seller?
Foggy Nelson.
That really lame drug and gun seller.
Turk Barrett. You just want a team-up show of Daredevil and Turk Barrett for 13 episodes? I would watch that as well.
Would you not want that? Don't even lie.
I mean, yeah, but okay, how about, but like, I don't know, I want to see them interact at least in some capacity in the larger MCU.
I want to see them interact.
Like the Punisher interacting with,
I want to see the Punisher interact with Venom.
That would be good. I mean, it would go very badly for the Punisher, but yeah. Anyway, a lot of possibilities.
Well, they don't have to fight. They could just be like playing chess or something.
That would be good, actually. Yeah. Why did I think they were played by the same actor for a second? They're very similar, aren't they? Bernthal and Hardy. Kind of same vibes. Mm. Anyway, we'll discuss.
They do give same vibes.
We can do an episode on like potential crossovers of like Marvel stuff,
superhero team ups that could happen.
There you go. Especially once these things are more confirmed. Once we see the Cox on screen, that could be taken out of context.
That is going to be. As soon as I see the Cox on screen, I'm going to do an episode labeling big team ups.
And then final piece of news: The Rock is in Fortnite. So. Do you play Fortnite?
The Rock's in Fortnite. I do not play Fortnite, and I'm proud of that.
Good, man. Yeah, I don't really get how they just put characters.
I don't really get it. Did you see the thing I sent you? Was that on how you found out, or did you find out before? I sent you something on Instagram that's just like from one of the accounts that's just The Rock enters Fortnite.
Yeah, I did see that. And it's cool, I guess. I thought they were mostly doing like just characters, and then it's just like it's like Thanos and Captain America, and then just The Rock.
And John Wick, they're there, but now The Rock's there. I mean, he is just a walking character, isn't he?
Yeah, sure. I would love to, if you could play PUBG as The Rock, I'd do that. Anyway, now it's time for...
The Cnews.
We talk about next week, the plane stunt, so that'll be more exciting, but here we have... Jack Reacher trailer banishes memories of Tom Cruise on Amazon Prime Video.
Banishes memories?
So I just thought that was a very poignant headline from CNET. Jack Reacher. So move over, Tom Cruise. A new Jack Reacher reaches out a new Jack Reacher reaches out.
That's lazy.
In the... starts crying. Reaches out in the trailer for an Amazon Prime.
When you sniff the cruise
video. Anyways, they're making a new Jack Reacher, damn it, and Tom Cruise is not in it, and some generic man. Cool. Sorry, Cruise. Whatever. Can't have it all.
Sorry, Cruise. You've been replaced. I mean, after Jack Reacher 2, it makes sense. That was a very poor performance.
They should have actually just. Sorry, I have a bit of a sniffle, alright? I put up with you coughing your fucking lungs out for like 2 months straight and me having to try to edit that out, and it was the most tedious fucking process. So don't even come at me with anything about my sniffles.
I think I've hit a nerve.
Alright, fine. Everything's perfect in my life right now except for the sniffles.
I think I've angered him.
Anyway.
The sun's getting real low, big guy.
Now it's time for the announcements and such, recorded right now. Get ready. So,
what?
Alright, first of all, we actually have quite a few here. The Spotify Wrapped came out. So,
Not the Spotify Reggae?
So, we had quite a few people who had us as their top podcast. So, I just want to give a shout out here to Kian Mahir Sampat, sorry if I mispronounced that, Mahir Sampat, James Curry, Liam Pearson, and my friend from university, although we were not her number one, we were top 3. So
Top 3.
it's pretty good. She's the one who
We'll
left
take that.
left us notes on the pod. So she's
Mm.
had clearly
There's
done her homework here.
yeah, we were second for me.
Well, I don't listen to pods on Spotify, so I had.
Well, I don't do podcasts, so no worries.
But yeah, so thank you guys so much. It was great to see. Appreciate it. And Spotify gives us a little Wrapped for like podcasting. So I can just go through some of the statistics here for the Poorly Planned
Let's hear the
podcast.
statistics.
You had a lot of firsts this year. You released your first episode on January 1st. Okay, that's not really an achievement. That's just a fact.
That's just dope.
Your show made some new friends in new places. You got your first streams in 8 new countries: Hungary, Oman, Latvia, New Zealand, and Slovakia. Oman? So yeah, thank you to our Slovakian listeners. 41 fans listen to you more than any other podcast. Let's go. So we are 41 people's number 1. Big
How
moves.
many people listen on Spotify? Can we see that? Like, how many views or listens does an episode get normally?
I can tell you later. I probably shouldn't publish that information publicly because it's really embarrassing. But
It's embarrassing how much money we make.
again, still make no money from the pod. We actually lose money on it.
I literally lose money from the pod. But anyway.
But yeah, I can tell you later. I actually don't know off the top of my head. 7 fans spent their birthdays listening to you. That's an interesting statistic.
That's
Kind of weird that they know that.
That's weird and wholesome.
Kind of wholesome, yeah. So shout out to those guys. 4 fans rang in the new year with you. So they listened to us on New Year's, I guess. 30% of your fans listen to you between 5 and 11 p.m., making it the most popular time, the perfect way to unwind from a long day. That's fair enough. That's
quite nice. Come home, put on the pod.
Yeah, have a good old time. And finally, you released 1,986 minutes of content across 41 episodes. I would have thought it would be more than that, because I feel like we did every single week this year, but maybe, I guess not. But anyway.
41 episodes.
Well, no, yeah, because we're still... They didn't count, like, the last 2 months, did they?
They didn't count December.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so yeah, but good stuff.
Which is weird, because why don't they do that?
Yeah, but great stuff.
Is that counted next year, then, probably?
So, cool. Thank you, Spotify. I always enjoy the Spotify Wrapped, and it's cool to see a little thing about our statistics. Then, this is a very random thing, but I just remembered another character I forgot to mention, the characters we relate to pod, like, probably, like, one of my top 3. The Peter Parker in the MCU. Just want to put it out there. One of my relatable ones. He's a relatable boy, especially in Homecoming. I had a horrible, terrifying experience on the airplane on the way back here, where this was an enlightening yet also tragic moment where, as we were getting off the plane, a little girl was talking to her dad, and I kid you not, about how Dwayne Johnson wouldn't fit on this plane. She was like, the Rock wouldn't be able to fit here. And he was like, no, he wouldn't. He would probably bring down the whole plane.
You ought to walk over and just, how dare you speak his name?
I laughed a little bit because I was also like, damn, why does this sound exactly like a conversation Freddie and I would have on the pod? This conversation between like a 3-year-old and her father, who's like just basically just like patronizing, be like, yeah, that would be kind of weird if Dwayne Johnson was on this plane. And then also there was a horrifying thing this weekend at the UFC where none other than Vince Vaughn was in attendance, and there were several terrifying moments throughout the broadcast. Firstly, DC on commentary, he just goes, I'm sorry, I'm freaking out. Vince Vaughn just came up to me and said, what's up? And I was like, DC.
I'm sure DC's more famous than Vince Vaughn.
Like, no? DC, you were the heavyweight champion. Why are you fanboying over Vince Vaughn? You could slam his ass.
I imagine Vaughn would be a very poor fighter.
Yeah, duh.
Duh.
Unlike us two, who would be the coolest. But then the moment is made even worse by the fact that then one of the best fighters on the whole card, Rafael Fiziev, he knocks this dude out in crazy fashion. And then his last fight, when he won the fight, he called out Hasbullah, as you do. And then this fight, he goes, nice. And it was so funny because he clearly had no idea who he was. Someone just told him there was a celebrity there. He was like, yeah, there's this guy, what's his name? And then someone told him his name. He was like, yeah, Vince Vaughn. Yeah, I want to fight with you.
I love him in the movie. Vince.
My favorite movie is The Internship. And so I just thought that was amusing that Vince Vaughn got called out by a professional ass kicker.
It's not bad. When he was in the crowd.
Yeah.
He must have just run away.
Yeah. And then finally, well, before we get to the fan page and the comments, there was also something on your Instagram this week where I feel stabbed in the back. So
yeah, we don't.
You won an award for best couple with another man.
No, just best bromance. Don't worry.
Oh, is that all? Is that it?
No, and it's the frisbee team, so it's
Wait,
it's really not a big deal.
Wait, were the awards for the frisbee team exclusively?
Yes.
Oh, well, who? Okay. Well, now I don't feel so insecure anymore. Well, like, who else would win best bromance? You're like 20 people.
Literally no one.
Yeah, you have the only bromance there, with a man whose name I won't even speak out loud out of disgust. No, but congratulations to you and your friend. I'm sure that's really lovely, and I definitely.
I'll say I probably enjoyed your comment more than actually winning. It was quite fun.
And then finally here,
it was also the most likes any comment's ever gotten on any of my posts. I think like 7 or 8 likes.
Yeah, see, I have the support from the people there. So let's see some comments on the last one. Movie guy, now that you're both in the UK, you should watch Friday Night Dinner. It's hilarious. You would be crying your eyes out in a funny way. I've not heard of Friday Night Dinner, but I'll make a note of that. He also says
I have heard of this. It is. Wait, let me quickly search up. Make sure it's the right one I'm talking about before I start talking a bunch of shit. Oh yeah, it is. It is genuinely the most unfunny shit show I've ever seen.
No, don't ruin movie guys.
It is.
Like
it's
that.
So bad. It's like I if you watch the first episode, I think you would genuinely hate it.
Wow. Well, you've just ruined movie guy's day. Sorry, movie guy.
Sorry, movie guy. It's just not good at all. It's like
in
a
your
cult phenomenon here. I think it's kind of like what the Julekalender would be to a foreigner who came and saw that.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of, you need to be sort of, you need to be a UK boy.
It's also very primitive humor, and we are not about that.
Anyway, speaking of which, I shit myself 8 times.
I shit myself thrice.
He also says SKL means school, so I think he was saying we'd get some more school pods. So yeah, sometime maybe we might have to hit a school pod somehow, school reunion pod somehow, some way. Who knows? Mm-hmm. Sean Finn, you guys should watch Ted Lasso, one of the funniest and greatest shows of all time, and in my opinion lives up to The Office. I've heard so many great things about Ted Lasso. I think it's really something that would be up my alley.
I do want to watch it.
I will make a note of that as well. Daniel, at the movies, for never seen an episode of New Girl, still a very funny and enjoyable episode. Can't wait for the Christmas Ben and Fred watch. Daniel just is incapable of being
Daniel is incapable of being mean to us.
He hasn't even seen New Girl, and he still is giving compliments to the episode. So yeah, we're not trying to box you in, Daniel. If you hate an episode, please let us know. But God, Daniel,
do not feel like you have to support us if you're not digging it. But if you are,
but also loving it, Daniel. Thank you so much. So kind. Anson Hartzler, I can finally die happy knowing that I have, their words not mine, outclassed the pod with my analysis of Violet's relatability. Thank you for bestowing upon me this highest of honors. You're welcome, Anson. You earned it by making a much better comment than we did episode. Yeah. Ryan, love this episode. Really helps me de-stress during exam season. Hey, of course. Thank you, Ryan. I'm happy to hear, and good luck with your exams. And Kian says, to use a poorly planned quote, this episode was bloody delightful. Thank you, Kian. Appreciate it. That's very nice.
Delightful.
And then finally, also from Kian on the fan page, there was his top podcast was The Poorly Planned. You listened to 81 episodes for a total of 4,918 minutes. Let's go. Big ups, Kian.
4,000.
Love to see it. And also then he also posted this guy who photoshopped Jeremy Renner to be his top artist. Or maybe it was his top artist. Who knows? I hope it wasn't.
Is Jeremy Renner on Spotify?
Probably. I think he makes music. I think he's in a band. Anyway, we're also we're on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Leave us a 5-star rating if you're listening there. And if you're listening there, we're also on YouTube, The Poorly Planned Podcast. Please subscribe, leave a like, drop a comment about what we talked about, and subscribe. Did I already say that? And like, it's all good. The fan pages are also linked down below. And yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. You can find me on YouTube, BHL Hudson, Instagram, Twitter, BHL_Hudson. You can email the pod at bhlhudsonvids@gmail.com.
You can find me on Twitter at FTK_DaltSniper. You can find me on Instagram at Fidalgard. And you can find me on YouTube at FTK Space Gaming. Also, Jeremy Renner is on Spotify.
There we go. Mystery solved.
With House of the Rising Sun. Anyways, go on.
Kind of want to listen to that. Thank you very much for listening, and we will see you next time.
Got a Cox.
What'd you say?
Cox?
Oh. Yes. COX.
Yeah, obviously.
No.
No.